Hi, I'm Andrew, and welcome to I Effing Love Whiskey. Because a lot of people come up to me and they say, "Hey, do you like whiskey?" And I go, "No, I fucking love whiskey."
Oh, you got me.
And really, we're going to start focusing on Scotch whiskies, which are whiskies that are made in Scotland. Map. Thank you, Becca.
Not on the map. They're made in the actual place.
I took the comfy stool nearest the map, therefore I must gesture.
Right?
Yeah.
Aged for 3 years in oak casks and made with water, barley, and yeast, and that's kind of it.
And
yet,
this is one of those three things?
that is water, yes.
Correct.
But that's water
So
from
ingredient.
the
Oh
local
god!
water.
Oh god! It's tainted.
This is about how I thought it'd go. That's great. So in each episode, we're going to taste a bunch of different whiskeys, and we're going to kind of talk about them, what we taste them, what we smell on them, what we think of them, and we're going to talk about like how you might set up a tasting on your own, and what kinds of tools of the trade you need, and all of that. And we'll be talking stories, and we'll talk about distilleries, and we'll talk about Scotch, we'll talk about all aspects of things.
Now, have you ever had your own tasting? Why are you?
Yes.
How do you know about this?
Well, I have. I have had a number of tastings here because I do have a collection, and I have people over. And I was sitting with my friend Joseph at one of these things, and he said, "Hey, we should record this." And I thought that sounds like a very litigiously bad idea because that's going to cause problems. But they've signed waivers now, so they're committed.
Definitely committed.
Go ahead, make a deep fake of this.
Really? Are we already jumping
That's
into there?
what waivers do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they can't.
Perpetuity.
We can make a deep fake.
Yeah, you can. But you can't.
You can't. No deep faking.
Yet.
I just want to say I'll sign anything as long as it leads to me tasting whiskey. Good whiskey.
Can I have your organs
If there's
in
scotch
exchange
involved.
for scotch?
If there's excellent scotch involved, you may have my organs.
Does he have to be dead before you collect?
Except for my liver.
Up to him.
Yeah, you don't want his
I need
liver at
that.
that point. Yeah, you
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
need it
keep
at
the
that point.
liver.
So speaking of friends, this is my friend Joseph. Hello.
Hello, internet.
Any other thing you want to plug or?
Postcardgames.com is my game company. I make games on postcards, and I love scotch. And I'm just really excited to be here. And Andrew's a great guy. He knows a ton about scotch and whiskey, and I learn something every time I hang out with him. So
Excellent. And every episode we are going to have a special guest, and today it's Becca Scott.
Hi, I'm Becca Scott. I make
All you need to know. All right, whiskey.
I make videos about board games, and you can Google my name and find them.
Okay, and we'll probably put a super under here that shows the connections,
my
the
Twitter there.
socials, the Twitter.
There it is.
Wow,
Cool.
I'm good. So this first one is a Glenfarclas 21-year-old. It's from the Spey region, and all the whiskeys we're having today are from Spey.
Can you say it in a more Scottishy accent?
Yes, but
Glenfarclas.
I will get a lot of hate mail from all my Scottish friends. Glenfarclas.
Glenfarclas.
I'm not even going to follow those amazing dialects. I'm not classically trained in dialects, so...
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
All right. Owned by the Grant family. They're one of the few non-conglomerate owned distilleries still around, so they kind of kept in the family and kind of run it. And they make a lovely product. And this is a 21-year-old.
But this one is old enough to drink itself.
It is, yes. If you're going to do your own tastings, it's important to have a measured pourer. And that's got a little ball bearing in it, so it will automatically shut off after half an ounce, so you can control how much you're drinking.
What? That's genius!
Yeah.
Where are the engineers that are coming up with this stuff? They should be on this podcast.
Well, maybe in a
we'll find
future
out.
episode we'll get one as a guest, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
A ball bearing expert.
And the nice thing about measured pourers is that you can just tip it over and it stops after half
Oh
an ounce. So
my
you kind of know.
god, this is the
exactly how
coolest
much you're
part
getting.
about this day.
No, the whiskey will be the coolest part about this day.
I was gonna say
That's
that
where we'll
several
start to get enjoying it.
1, 2, 3, shoot it!
No.
We never.
Let's talk about process here. So there's three things that you can appreciate about the whiskey. You can look at the color first, and that will maybe tell you a little bit about it. A golden color doesn't always mean it's better. Some of the best whiskeys I've had have been almost pale. So you want to look at it, and then you want to nose it. You want to smell it.
I'm clearing out the nose holes.
Oh, okay. You want to sniff with your mouth open and exhale through your mouth. You don't want to get too close. If it's too much alcohol, you can blow it off like that.
Now, why mouth open? What's the thinking there?
I am not sure.
And what if you have a big, long, curvy nose that dips into the whiskey? Is that better?
Well, you know, it's a different way to drink.
I think, yeah, if you open, like if you do both, if you do it with your mouth closed, and then do it with your mouth open, there's just a bit more, it's like it opens everything up a bit more. You get more...
You're kind of breathing it through. When you're not breathing out, your exhalation is not going through your nose and maybe coating it with more moisture or something like that, taking away some of the aroma.
So what are we smelling for?
Anything you want. In fact, this is one of the fun things, is like you try to identify what the smells are in here. So I get...
Floral.
Floral, yeah.
A lot of Speyside have...
The Speyside have the light floral notes often. They claim it's because of the water. Could be. So I'm getting some vanilla, which
I'm
is
getting drunk.
Bourbon cask already.
You got a long journey ahead of you. That sound.
Vanilla. Ooh, interesting.
There's a... Just kind of, I always like there's like a kind of a carnival or like a light caramel. I always find.
I thought you said carnival, and I'm like, oh.
I did say carnival. Like it is
a
that,
carnival
it's that
of caramel.
Well, it's like that sort of that sense of like, you know, there's that smell in the background at a carnival, like of all the like cotton candy and like the caramelization of the outside of corn dogs and like fried onions. All of that kind of combines to this overall sort of, I don't know, it's a
little sweet kind of...
Yeah, like a deliciousness. Like it hits those, I don't know. I wonder if there's like a connection between, like I wonder how much Scotch activates umami sensors, you know?
There's some that I think absolutely hit it for me. But
yeah.
Yeah, write in if you know.
Should we, are we allowed
to
taste it yet?
Okay, so we can taste. Now, the way to taste is not to just gulp it down. You want to take a small sip.
Get it back, straight back.
Yeah,
Shoot it straight back.
Void the taste buds altogether, and then you don't know what you're tasting. That's exactly what you should do with Scotch.
I'm kidding, I wouldn't.
No. You want to try and hold it in your mouth for like 7 to 12 seconds and move it around, chew it, you know, and kind of get it around the mouth. And
hit every taste bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember at the Scotch Whiskey Experience, they said you should be like, kind of is one way to do it, of like
almost
literally like
chewing,
and it gets more of the flavor. Oh man.
It's just like an ASMR thing.
That is so good.
And there's two things you want to pay attention to here. Is the taste is what's happening in your mouth while the whiskey's there, and then the finish is what's happening in your mouth after the whiskey's gone. And if you can't identify the flavors, I like to find like where in my mouth am I feeling this? Because sometimes the roof of the mouth is really activated, or the sides of the cheeks or the tongue.
Center of the tongue forward.
Yeah, a little bit there.
I'm getting on the sides, like very much on the sides of the tongue. I think.
But this is crazy. I would think that had to do with where I put it the most, like my particular way of swishing. Mm-hmm. But it is the whiskey itself.
It's the whiskey itself.
That activates a certain part.
Yeah, because there's certain types of flavors and stuff in here.
Different parts of your tongue have different activate different flavors.
Right,
have you
right.
Seen
There's
that
the
diagram?
sweet, salty, bitter, umami.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what's in the middle, towards the front. I'm gonna say sweet.
Sweet, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm learning so much. You can maybe find that diagram and put it right here.
I could. I didn't. I guess I'm too lazy.
You just put a gif of your head shaking no.
May have happened.
Yeah, this is really good.
Becca, do you want to show people where the River Spey is to show the region of Scotland that these whiskeys today are from?
Grantown on Spey is this river right here.
Well, that's the Spey
town.
River. That's the town.
Sure. Yeah. This region.
Yeah. And it is classified as the Spey region, the Speyside region of Scotland.
Have you been there?
I have.
What's there?
There's a lovely river, a lot of green, because one of the things you need to make whiskey is water. Lots and lots of water. Like 60 to 100 gallons of water per gallon of whiskey produced.
Oh my God, we're
Very
ruining the environment for this delicious thing.
Really, they're mostly 99% clean. The worst thing they produce is hot water, which they can dissipate and get rid of. The malt, after it's made the beer, the low spirits, goes out and gets fed to cows. They recycle that.
See, the cows, they're the ones who are really wasting water.
That's right.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Dirty cows.
And the, petroleum and coal. But other than that.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Now, since we're talking about water, we can talk about adding water to your whiskey. Now, some people just take a glass and start pouring water in there. I do not recommend that. You can do anything you want with your whiskey, but this ain't your whiskey. This is my whiskey you're having right now.
Okay, no
Fair enough. I will follow your rules, sir.
So, really, if you're going to taste it with water, and